An example of the modality adaptation that I do for a class. In a beginning band rehearsal, I would have the directions of rehearsal order written on the chalkboard. Here we have Star Wars, Mozart, and the Firebird. And here I printed out a picture to go along with the written schedule. We have a Star Wars picture, a picture of Mozart, and a picture of Firebird. These would be hung on the chalkboard next to the written schedule, and they would be to complement the oral directions that I would give at the beginning of rehearsal. This is the example of a pacing adaptation. In a beginning band rehearsal, if I were to pass out the music to Star Wars, we would look at the first 12 measures. Here is the percussion part, the snare drum part. You have quarter notes, triplets, and in the 12th measure, you have 4 quarter note flams. So the adaptation that I had done for pacing would be if a student needs to work at a slower pace, take out the triplets, have the student just play the quarter notes on the snare drum. Once this has been accomplished, I would then add the triplets back in, but still leave out the flams in the 12th measure. And finally, once the student has accomplished this and is comfortable, then they can play the entire part and add the flams in on the 12th measure. Here is my adaptation for the sizing. We are looking at exercises 5, 6, and 7 from the book Stick Control for the Snare Drummer by George Lawrence Stone. And over here you will see that those 3 exercises have been bolded and enlarged, and the excess exercises have been removed from the page. We have the paradiddle, the inverted paradiddle, and the milled paradiddle. Today I would like to talk about color coding percussion mallets. At first glance, there appears to be a ton of the same mallet on the marimba. However, there's actually 4 different sets of marimba mallets, and this could be quite challenging for students to select the correct mallet. Voila! I have now successfully colored and labeled all of the marimba mallets. The soft mallets are labeled with the blue tape. The medium mallets are labeled with the green tape. The medium hard mallets are labeled with the red tape, and the hard mallets are labeled with the yellow tape. This is just electrical tape that you can buy at any hardware store for under $4. In order to help the student make sure that they're playing with the correct mallet, I would indicate in the music by highlighting the selection with the color that corresponds with the appropriate mallet. Proper mallet selection is sometimes overlooked by music educators, but is essential in helping students to get proper intonation on mallet percussion. Often in secondary band literature or percussion literature, a student is required to switch mallets quite frequently. This is an adaptation that I not only use in the band classroom, but I also use in the front ensembles of marching band and indoor drumline. Proper mallet selection also helps preserve the life of your instruments. Take the marimba, for instance. In the lower range of the marimba, the bars are actually thinner, so if a student strikes the bar with a hard mallet, it can often crack the bars. I don't know about you, but I don't have extra money in my budget to replace marimba bars.